Hello, Team Duncan. This message is for you. I'd like to talk about the word communication. Why is it important? Why am I talking about it? First thing is, 90% of the time, I think we do a pretty good job in that area, so do not read into this video. I'm not talking to anybody specifically. Just want to talk about the subject, communication, and the importance of it. When you got a lot going on in life, been there, done that, and you've got more balls in the air than you probably should, you have to be aware that sometimes if you're really stressed and Timmy's coming to ask you a question, let's say Timmy's not stressed, Timmy's unaware that you've had 4 phone calls, you've had a truck down, or you have a situation at home, so you're at a level 8 of stress, and he comes up calmly and has a question, and you turn and kind of bite his head unintentionally. And then Timmy turns and kind of like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. Well, the rest of the day now, he's a little damaged. His brain is going, what did I do wrong? How did I upset that person? So part of being an adult, when we're human, so I want to make that clear, we can have mistakes, but fundamentally, as an adult, when you find yourself or you feel, I am really worked up, and that person just asks you a question, you need to try to calmly turn and be like, oh man, can we circle back tomorrow? I've had a day that I can't even articulate. 98% of people are going to say, no problem. Heck, he'll probably buy you a lemonade and come back and try to help your day improve. But if you do not communicate with them, what you've unintentionally done is kind of started to create a wedge. And then that wedge becomes wider and wider and wider. And as a coach, I don't want those wedges, because I know our team, and I believe this, everybody would be in a foxhole with each other, and that's magic. But for that to continue and for us to have the culture we do, we have to communicate. We have to be transparent. The reason why I'm so transparent is I don't want any employee coming to work like this, feeling like, oh, I made a mistake, I'm fired, I'm written up. Yes, there's certain things that you can't do. There's out of bounds. We do have some rules, but fundamentally the transparency that I started on this train was so you, the individual, can have comfort when you're at Duncan, understanding we're not cloak and dagger. There's nothing that's being hidden from you. Everything's on the table. We want to improve this company and grow this company so you have a future. And that doesn't happen if we're not communicating. One other thing I want to talk about, if you're running a division and you kind of get blindsided, or something's happening in your division and that's not been communicated, you have to put yourself in that person's shoes who's running the division. You may not know. I just asked that person 3 questions. They looked at me blank, and now they have anxiety because they know I'm signing their check, and my brain's going, is this person in the game? They didn't know what was going on, and they didn't do anything wrong. They've empowered their team. They've trusted the people that are under them. And when that doesn't flow back up with the situation, that individual, I call it, I use this analogy, they're in the wind twisting. That's not cool on any level, because I can assure you, the people that are running the divisions at Duncan Oil Company have nothing but your best interests at heart, because if they didn't, I wouldn't have them on the team. So that's first and foremost. Every person running a division at Duncan wants the best for you, and they're thinking more than you even understand how they can improve your life, how they can make the business better, because it all feeds on itself. So let's wrap it up with this. Communication. Why do we have to communicate? If we're not communicating, we're creating confusion. Always remember this. Confusion creates anxiety. Anxiety creates frustration. Frustration creates anger. Nothing positive in that. However, if you know the rules and someone's been right up front with it, you may not like it, but you know why you don't hit the anger stage? Because you understand it. You know what you're facing. So I'm right here, right? Oh, by the way, if you can figure out where I'm at, great job. So if I stand here on the 3-point line and I'm not communicating to myself, because communication is also internally. You know, one of the best things about wrestling for me was you have to talk to yourself. That's not weird. And too many people don't do that. So if I just walk up to this line and I just shoot the ball, it might go in, it may not. But if I take 1 second and I'm communicating to myself, man, you're going to nail this. You a beast, you a dog, don't let anybody tell you different. your chance of hitting that shot is so many times better. And if people tell you that's weird, guess what? They sit in the bleachers because they ain't never been on the field. All communication. So communication is also one-on-one to yourself internally, telling yourself every day you're doing a good job, you're a good mom, you're a good wife, or you're a good husband, you're a good brother. Feed yourself that information. Then the other thing is when you're working with a group of people like at Duncan, you're communicating to them clearly. And over time, your teammates will always say, yeah, you talk to that dude, he'll tell you straight up. And you know what? That is a gift that people all want because few people can talk from here. Why? Because the anxiety affects this. Just want to leave that message. Keep communicating. I'm proud of each and every one of you guys. And remember, we're building and we're growing, and that won't happen if we don't communicate.